Hello friends and fellow wealth seekers, welcome back to a new video update. This is the portfolio update for October 2019. I blog at investmentjourney.eu about financial independence, crowdlending, peer-to-peer lending, primarily in Europe. So let's get right into it. October. If you're new, on the blog post there is a few articles, links to articles about financial independence, what it is, why I choose to pursue it, what crowdlending is, and I invest in 13 platforms myself, and I have made a summary page which contains the pros and cons of the platforms I choose to invest with. In October I did not publish any new content, mainly due to a spike in my workload, but also because I've been abroad for 2 weeks. My next blog post will be a review of TFG Crowd, or the finance group Crowd, so stay tuned for that. I'm working on that as we speak as well. About my investments in October, I deposited 9,300 euros, I withdrew 4,800, so net investments were 4,500 euros. October was a success for the most part. Just keep reading or listening to find out why. Then we move into my crowdlending portfolio income for the month. It was 1,180 euros, a decline of 62 euros, but still an annualized return of rounded 16%, which is an excellent return, and I'm very happy with that. The decline that was expected has finally materialized, which means that in August and September results were extremely high, mainly due to secondary market sales, primarily in platform Crowd Estate. In October none of that happened. Nevertheless, I'm pleased with the October result. Almost 16% annualized returns are nothing to scoff at. Actually, it's I would say it's above the target that I aim for myself. So very good nonetheless. In October I expect income to decline slightly as well, but then I expect, mainly due to Crowd Estate as well, and you'll find out a little bit further down why, but I do expect an all-time high in December, and I'm very excited for that, mainly due to the payment schedule of my Crowdester investments. More on that later, but expected all-time high in December, so good stuff coming. Additionally, some good and some bad news when it comes to project exits this month. Investio, the TFG Crowd, and Monetera all had one project I invested in successfully exit. On the other hand, several projects at Crowd Estate are struggling. So some good, some bad. My first goal is still 1,500 euros monthly income from my investments, which means I am at 79%, which is a decline of 4% compared to last time. And then fun fact, my portfolio reached 100,000, which can definitely be called like a mini milestone, a small success. And these are the platforms that I use, all 13 of them. As you can see, total just surpassed 100,000, of which I deposited 93 myself. So 1,180 euros, 16% annualized, deposited 93, current value 100. Then income over time, so it has been increasing every month, setting new records, and then this is the first time where there's a small dip, but that was expected. Then onto the individual platforms. Crowd Estate. income 93 euros, a decline by 144. Still an annualized return of 26%. So my investment in Crowd Estate is not that large anymore, but due to like payments or partial bullet payments in Crowd Estate, you do see like big fluctuations. So my income for October took a nosedive as expected. No secondary market activity to boost my income. But I did receive an advance payment for a project which is due to exit in December. So that was the primary reason why I still received some income. More importantly, Crowd Estate investors are in a bit of a bind. Now multiple projects are struggling, resulting in either payment delays or loans being restructured or basically uncertainty as to what is exactly happening. So uncertainty prevails, and several investors have raised their voices and expressed their discontent with how Crowd Estate handles the communication on these troublesome projects. So time will tell how all this will play out. I have a stake in 2 of the projects that are facing difficulties. At this point in time, I'm not too worked up about it, but I am interested to see how Crowd Estate will handle this situation. In October, I withdrew 200 euros from Crowd Estate to invest elsewhere. And on the graph, you can see that like August and September were like very high income months. I have been withdrawing funds ever since July. So it is expected to go down even more in November. Then Mintos, income 123 euros, a little bit less than last time. Still an annualized return of 12%, which is solid. Mintos has been going through a slow phase in September and most of October. But during the last few days of October, interest rates appear to be slowly bouncing back. Occasionally, it is possible to catch loans up to 12% again on the primary market, but at the same time, available loans have also increased. It's a bit of a question mark whether this is due to more investors withdrawing funds because of lower rates, or more loans are made available by the loan originators. During the first weeks of October, I withdrew 4,400 euros to invest elsewhere. I got a bit fed up with the 9.5 to 10% returns, and I figured there are other opportunities out there, and even though I like Mintos, there is no reason to stick with them for the rates that they were returning at that time. If the rates continue to climb, I plan to increase my stake with Mintos again, just because Mintos is an excellent platform, but I do aim at least at like 12% in the current environment. So Mintos was not living up to that. If you are interested in becoming an investor with Mintos as well, I have a link which gives you 0.5% cashback for the first 90 days. Then Mintos income has been going up nicely, but declined in October a bit. Because I withdrew, I'm expecting the November income to decline as well to, well, 82, 85 euros, something like that. Basically proportionally to what I withdrew. Then Groupier, income 110 euros, up by 5, 13% annualized, a solid month. Groupier continues to deliver every single time. In October, Groupier published their loan originator ratings. It's great to see the platform sticks to their word. albeit a bit later than originally planned. It was a Q3 action, and now it is already a third into Q4, so a month later, but nothing to worry about, at least not on my end. Then Groupier also added 2 loan originators from Russia, Epic Cash and Lion Lender. A 1% cashback campaign is running until the 6th of November to introduce Lion Lender still. Groupier solid, a bit of a up and down in this region just because of some cashback actions, but other than that, solid. Then let's have a look at Groupier to find the loan originators and the ratings. We navigate here, and you see that Groupier has published their ratings from A until F is the scale, A being the best ones, F being the poorest ones. So definitely check it out if you are investing with a Groupier. What stood out to me is primarily Monify, who has a rating of E. It's the only one. Even Epic Cash and Lion Lender, which are new startups and loan originators from Russia, have a D rating. So curious to see and understand why this is rated the way it is. Then Investio. Income is 124 euros, up by 10, annualized 20. Solid platform, great returns. My 5th project successfully exited in October from Investio, which boosts my confidence in the platform yet again. And on top of that, Investio also launched 6 projects in October. 2 new projects, the other were additional tiers of the same project or previous projects, so launched in previous months. I reinvested the return principal, increased my portfolio at Investio with another 500, and my funds are invested in the loan facility buyout project displayed below. It is 20% returns, 10 months running, a great project, at least from a returns perspective. So excited to get my share of that. If you are interested in becoming an investor with Investio, I have a link which gives you 0.5% cashback for 270 days, 9 months. So that's a great little boost to help you on your way. And Investio. I've slowly been increasing my stake with Investio ever since I started in March, and then in April, and ever since I've added like 500 euros monthly if there were projects available, and I plan to continue doing so. Then Fast Invest. Income 12 euros, up by €1. Annualized return is actually really good. It's 15%. It's a little bit of a more of a up and downs with Fast Invest, just because my portfolio is fairly small. The annualized return tends to shift a bit, but it has been consistently over 13 since I started. So returns trickle in as expected. In October, Fast Invest introduced Russian loans to their platform. But surprisingly, also the loan originator was disclosed. And this is the first time Fast Invest chooses to disclose the name of a loan originator, and it is Kviku, the Russian credit lender. It's a loan originator which is also present on Mintos and Viventor. It's a great step to disclose the name, and I hope the other loan originators will shortly follow. Until that time, I do not plan to increase my stake with Fast Invest, but the platform has been running smoothly. Buybacks have been kicking in whenever needed, and it's only a 3-day buyback period at Fast Invest, which is extremely short. Then Swapper. Swapper income was 82, up by €1, annualized 14%, so, which is fairly good for payday loans, what Swapper provides. So set and forget is the motto with Swapper. I've come to appreciate the platform increasingly more and decided to increase my portfolio with €2,000 in October, which makes a total of 9 now. There is a small amount of cash drag here and there, but the returns are solid as demonstrated by the annualized return. The promotional campaign, which has lasted for the last 2 months, has ended and truly paid off, I think, as well. Active investor numbers increased by 11% in September, and all these new investors are currently enjoying an additional 2% returns for 3 months. And these are the numbers that Swapper reported. So also loans funded up by 13% and cumulative lending volume up by 4 rounded. Income stable. So the payday loans that Swapper provides are usually for 30 days, or well 14 or 30. So and then a buyback period of another 30 days. So returns are pretty smooth usually. So give a steady cash flow. Then on to Viventor. Income €47, down by 2. Annualized return 13%. Viventor has also been performing as expected. However, annualized returns are a bit lower than you expect, considering I'm investing in 14% loans or more at that platform. The main reason for this is the loan originator Atlantis, who only pays out interest at the end of the term and has a buyback term of 90 days. This is roughly 50% of my Viventor portfolio. So what that means is that if, and this is actually the case, like if a loan period is 5 months and interest is paid out at the end, if you take the 5 months and add on top of that a buyback term of 90 days, you essentially have 8 months of a loan and the interest is only paid out at the very end. So this is what sort of disrupting my monthly cash flow a bit, but all my Atlantis loans are scheduled to be bought back in November, so I've held them since March. So that should spike the annualized return for Viventor for November. As I said before, I noticed Groupier rated Modify with E in their loan originator ratings. I'm investing in Modify loans through Groupier and Viventor. So I have decided to reduce my exposure a bit based on that rating. So as a result, I withdrew €200 at the end of October. Other than that, I'm fairly happy with Viventor. Then on to RoboCash. Income 22 or €23, up by 6. Annualized return 14%. So last month annualized returns were 9. Returns have caught up a bit after last month's lower returns. A few of the 3-month installment loans finished and paid out interest for the entire period. Like Swapper, RoboCash is as simple and hands-off as it gets. The only downside is the fixed interest rate of 12%. So one could argue that there are better opportunities out there. Because my portfolio with RoboCash is fairly small compared to other platforms, you see a bit of a up and downs. It's not smooth entirely, but I do like the platform. The returns are reliable, the company is profitable, so other than that, a good platform to be with for sure. Then on to Crowdlending. Income is 111 euros, up by 14. Annualized return is only 9%, and there is a reason for that. So first of all, income is slightly up, but annualized returns remain low, mainly because more and more projects, especially the ones which return like a higher interest, have moved to a payment structure that does not pay monthly interest. Instead, projects delay returns for several months, followed by a partial bullet payment, and from that moment on, monthly interest payments. I've provided an example below that clarifies the payment schedule, so let's have a look at that first. So this is a project which I invested in July this year, so it provided a bit of some interest in July itself, but then nothing until the 1st of January, so like 6 months later, and then every month another interest payment. So this is the schedule that a lot of projects follow lately. The first partial bullet payment for projects that I invested in will be received in December, and this is the reason that I expect my December update to be the all-time high for just a new all-time high record, and that might actually last for a while as well. I deposited 2,500 euros in October and spread the amount over 3 projects, each yielding at least 16%. If you are looking to start invest with a Crowdlending, there's an affiliate link there as well. 0.5% cashback of 180 days. It's pretty rare to have this offer for Crowdlending, so very pleased to be able to offer it to my readers and listeners. So these are the projects: Mafia Wars, which is a game, an app, mobile game. 18% plus 14, which is a conditional return for 12 months. Then a castle, 16.5%, loan to value only 32%, 18 months. And a Forestland Investments project, as well, a conditional return here as well. So it's 18 fixed and 2% conditional. So very interesting projects to invest in. Then Quetzal income 275. This is my top earner. It's down by 25, annualized still 20%. So Quetzal remains the largest chunk of my portfolio and continues to deliver. Income has declined because last month I accidentally mixed in some affiliate income into the numbers, and I exclude affiliate income from the monthly updates, just so month to month everything is comparable. So the decline is not a concern at all, actually. Overall a steady month. The top earner, as I said. I transferred another 1,000 euros to Quetzal in October and invested in the Green Dev project for 24 months at 90% with a buyback guarantee. That's this project right here. The company was raising 1.2 million. On November 1st, 2 new development projects launched as well. One at a 19%, one at 18.5%, lasting for 12 months. So the Twin House number 2 at 18.5% returns remains open for investment still. I managed to invest in Twin House number 1, which is at 19% returns but filled up quickly. That's this one right here. So you can see it's already funded. Additionally, the platform is planning to upgrade their website and have recently added a countdown functionality for new projects similar to the one that Crowdlending has been using. I feel it's a step in the right direction because the website does feel well, not technically very advanced, and the counter always helps, so you know when to add your funds. It's easier to manage your cash flow. And then finally, if you are interested in also becoming an investor with Quetzal and invest in these projects, you can get a cashback for 180 days, 0.5%, but also by adding the promo code investment journey, you will be receiving a 50% sign up bonus as well. And you would not be getting any of those if you sign up through the website directly. Then on to TFG Crowd. Income 82 euros, up by 29, annualized returns 23. My first project with TFG Crowd exited successfully on October 31st. It was a Layla Cosmetics first tier. I consider this an important step in building more confidence for existing and new investors. Interest received is exactly as expected, and attractive new projects are being launched regularly. In fact, 2 new projects are being launched this Monday, which is the 4th of November. I will be keeping an eye out for that for sure. I deposited 1,400 euros in October and invested in 5 projects. These are 3 of them, and they're still open for investment. So interest rates 17-18% roughly, which is what I'm aiming for with this platform. Annualized returns are skewed a bit, like the 23 here, mainly because of how I calculate it. In reality, annualized return over a longer time span is roughly 17%. Like Crowdester and soon to be Quetzal, TFG Crowd has chosen to implement a countdown functionality. You can see that here. These are the projects which are launched Monday. You can see here the counter. So it's an indoor kids playground project and an anti-aging supplement project. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see the interest percentage yet. So I'm keeping an eye on it to see how interesting it is and might decide to invest in. So as I said, I'm a bit disappointed it came at the counter came at the expense of showing the interest rate, which was visible before. So hopefully that will be changed soon. Then TFG Crowd. Well, I've been wrapping up my investments with the platform for a few months now, so alongside that income also increases. Monetera, income 33 euros, up by 13, annualized return 18%. So Monetera successfully exited the project called Transportation of Lumber on November 1st, according to schedule, right on track. It's always helpful to see projects successfully finish. It builds trust for new and existing investors. I reinvested the return principal and interest and deposited another 900 euros in October to invest in new projects. Currently 5 projects are open for investments up to an interest rate of 19.8%. These are the ones that are currently available for investment. So from 16.4 lowest to 19.8 highest, I've chosen to invest in the equipment repairing hangar, the sawmills, and rolled metal manufacturing. If you are considering opening an account with Monetera as well, you can register through my link and earn 0.5% cashback for 90 days. And if you add the promo code investment journey, you get another 90 days totaling to 180. Then there was another project which returns 18.3%, but that was completely funded in October. I got a piece of that. And this is a project that successfully finished. It was only 3 months, so this was a nice test case almost, and Monetera passed, so that's finished, 21%. Then Wise Fund, and this is the last platform that I will discuss, last in line, 13, 65 euros, up by 33 euros, annualized return. Well, it's a bit distorted, but it's 26, how I calculate it. This will smooth out over time though, so don't take this with a grain of salt. It's likely to be in the 18 to 19% range if you calculate it more from a daily returns perspective. Wise Fund launched multiple attractive projects in October, and I decided to invest in one of them. Returns up to 20%. I deposited 1,000 euros. So far, Wise Fund delivers. My first Wise Fund project exit is scheduled for November, early November, if I remember correctly. So that will be exciting to follow, see how that goes, and if everything goes well. Wise Fund also provides a 0.5% cashback for 270 days for new investors. And these are the two projects that I invested with, 20% and 18% respectively. And this one just launched, and I will be investing in this project on Monday once my funds reach Wise Fund. 18.5%, 12 months. So a good start of November with a new project. Then on to my savings rate. This should be October, obviously. My savings rate for October was 78%, down by 12%. A decline compared to September, but I'm fairly pleased nonetheless. Because my savings rate was exceptionally high in September, expenses were exceptionally low, and in October I also spent 2 weeks abroad and lifted up a bit, so it is only normal that my expenses were a bit higher than in September. Nevertheless, it's still even above the target for the year, so my target for the year is 75% of my take-home pay. However, this is likely unattainable at this point because currently my year-to-date savings rate is 68, and there's only 2 months of the year left, so likely not going to make it, but I'll try to reach at least 70%. I'll try to push it as high as I can, and I'm aiming for, informally now, for 70% instead. Then this is the details month by month, so you can see especially April and May, those were the months where I spent quite a bit and made it very hard to reach my savings rate target. Either way, I'm still saving a lot more than I spend, so it's still a great savings rate nonetheless. Then the conclusion of the portfolio update for October. It's been a great month, honestly, but plenty of good, some bad. So passive income remains solid, and my savings rate was on track. So all that was positive. Plenty of interesting investment opportunities as well, primarily by Investio, Crowdlending, TFG Crowd, Monetera, and Wise Fund. So those are the business projects, business platforms. Successful project exits at Investio, TFG Crowd, and Monetera. But on the flip side, I have concerns related to 2 crowd estate projects that I personally have a stake in. Then, to summarize, solid income but no all-time high for once. Portfolio size hit 100k. So that's definitely a mini milestone for me. Savings rate on par with 78 for the month. Mintos rates appear to be recovering slowly, but I withdrew over a third of my portfolio to invest elsewhere before the recovery started showing. Steady above 70% towards the first target of 1500 euros passive income. I don't expect to hit that target this year still, but hopefully next. My strategy is unchanged and remains to focus primarily on business projects for the near future at least. So I hope you enjoyed this. This wraps up my portfolio update for November. Definitely stay tuned for that. November is going to be another good month. Project exit upcoming at Wise Fund. Continuous project launches at Crowdlending, TFG Crowd, so plenty of stuff to talk about in a month's time. If you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a comment either below the video or on my blog post itself. So thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and see you in a month's time. Ciao.